Okay, we're going to cover triangles. These are your notes for this. I'm going to tell you the exact information you're going to need going into your problem solving class. And this is not the problem solving portion of it. This is just preparing you to have the understanding of the triangle information so that you'll have an easier time with the problem solving. Once you can get the math part down, the problem solving will be able to be your focus instead of just the math part. Okay, so some important things to know about triangles. One, you're only going to be dealing with right triangles. All right, it has nothing to do with angles other than the 90-degree angle. And the 90-degree angle is the largest angle, and it's the one with this cute little box right here. Okay. The only reason this guy is important is because it tells you where your longest side is. And your longest side is your hypotenuse. Okay, a triangle is made up of two legs, actually three legs, but the longest leg is called the hypotenuse. Okay, the hypotenuse is always directly across from the right angle because the right angle is 90 degrees. It's the largest angle. So therefore, the side across from it is the longest side. All right. So we've got two legs and a hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always labeled as C. And that's going to be very important with what we're going to do next. And if you have two sides, say you have both legs and you need to find the hypotenuse, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find that hypotenuse. Say you have just the hypotenuse and a leg. Again, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find that other leg. It doesn't matter which leg you call A or B. The only thing that matters is that you call your hypotenuse C. Okay. The perimeter, once you find all of your legs and hypotenuse, you just add up all your sides. And the area is always the base times the height divided by 2, or you can use 0.5 times the base times the height. What you need to know is you will never, ever, 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 ever use the hypotenuse to find the area. It's always the legs. So if you want to call it A times B divided by 2, you can. These are your notes, make them what you want. But just please note, the area is never using the hypotenuse. It's only using the two legs. Okay. We're going to find the hypotenuse, the perimeter, and the area of a triangle with legs of 3 foot and 4 foot. So I always like to give myself, don't judge, I'm not an art person. Yeah, this is my right triangle as best as I'm going to get right now. One of my legs is 3 foot. One of my legs is 4 foot, and I'm looking for my C. I'm looking for my hypotenuse. Okay. The easiest thing to do right out the gate, because we have the two legs that we need to find our area, is just to find our area. And area is equal to base times height divided by 2. So 4 times 3 divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12. Divided by 2 is 6. Now, we've just come off of doing a big unit portion. You have to answer with the correct units. Perimeter and hypotenuse will have the same unit as all of the legs. Area is always measured in squares, and this is something you should carry through to your next class as well. Area is always measured in squares. So it is 6 feet, but it's not just 6 feet, it's 6 feet squared. You can write 6 feet squared, or you can write 6 square feet. Totally your call. Oh gosh, I'm too far down. Totally your call. You make the decision of what you want to call it, but the most important thing is that you square your unit. Okay, we can't find the perimeter until we find the hypotenuse. So let's find the hypotenuse next. And I'm going to use A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And remember, C is my hypotenuse. That's what I'm going to be solving for. All right. It does not matter whether you call it the 3A or the 3B, the 4A or the 4B. It doesn't matter. Pick one. So I'm going to use 3 for my A, 4 for my B. You're going to get the same answer if you do the opposite. Okay. Back in module 1, we talked about squaring, and squaring just means 3 times itself twice. So that's 3 times 3, or you can put it in your calculator, and it's 3, the caret 2 for squaring, and then equals. If you're using your phone, you're going to have to use probably an x to the y, I'm thinking, on those. Or you can just go 3 times 3, and that is 9. Do the same thing with the 4. It's 4 times 4, or it's 4 caret 2 equals, and that is 16. Okay. Now, we have squared both of them. What we have left to do is to add the 9 and the 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. All right. Let's talk about squares and square roots. The opposite of a square is a square root. Okay, so let me give you a quick synopsis over that. So if we have, let's go with 9. 3 times 3 is 3 squared, right? 3 squared is 9. All right, we know that now. If I want to take the square root is an opposite of a square. That means I'm taking the square root of 9, and that's going to give me 3. Okay, it just tells me what it took 2 of. That means there's 2 3s in here. There's an assumed little 2 here that no one ever, that's never placed there, because the basic square root, square, is the same thing we do for area, square. So it's just an assumed 2 in there, right? To find a square root, you're going to go with your calculator, second, and then where the x square is, see that little root right there? You're going to hit the x square button, because there's my square root, and it pops up here. And then I plug in my 9, and I get equals, and I get 3. Okay, a square root is the opposite of a square. Right? So in order to get rid of my square, I have to take the square root. If you are not using a calculator, you need to write these steps down so you have it for your note card. I am not helping you with your calculator portion on the exam. I'll show you where the square root button is, but I'm not going to show you how to put it in. Okay. So I took the square root of a square. This is going to give me C, because they cancel each other out. I have this cute little equal sign here. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other in order to keep it equal. So I have to take the square root of 25. So second, the x squared button, because that's where my square root is, right there, 25 equals, and that is 5. That means it took 2, there's 5 times 5 is 25 is what that means. So my hypotenuse is 5, but 5 what? Again, don't forget your units. It's 5 feet. The only thing that has a square on these answers is my area. Everything else is going to have feet for answers. Well, now that I know that my hypotenuse is 5 feet, I can find my perimeter of this triangle, and that's just by adding up all the sides. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 12 feet. So my perimeter is 12 feet. As you're going through this, make sure you write down any questions you have for me. Write down any notes that you can use for your 3x5 note card. Okay. And just do what you can to support yourself going into the homework and into the exam. And into the next class, which is the most important part. All right. I would like for you to pause this and attempt this yourself. At least start with the area. Attempt the hypotenuse if you can. If not, come back and watch me do it. Get as far as you can. And then if you can find the hypotenuse, go find your perimeter and then come back and see how you did. I'm going to start with the area because that's the easiest. I have 2 legs. So, and I have my base and my height, and it's base times height divided by 2. So 7 times 10 divided by 2. 7 times 10 is 70. Divided by 2 is 35. Now, again, unit is very important here. It's not just feet. It's the unit squared. It's feet squared. Okay, there's my area. I can't find my perimeter yet because I do not have my hypotenuse. So I need to use a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared to find my hypotenuse. Again, it doesn't matter which one I use as A and which one I use as B, because you're going to get the same answer. So I'm going to use 10 and 7 in that manner. 10 squared is 10 times 10, or 10 caret 2 equals, and that is 100. 7 squared is 7 times 7, or 7 caret 2 equals. The next part, we have to add the 100 plus 49, and that's 149. Okay. Now, to get rid of the square, we have to do the opposite of a square, which is square root. And what I do to one side, because of this cute little equal sign, I must do to the other. So C is equal to, and I have to put in second, the square root symbol, 149, and equals. This is not a perfect number, and that's okay. We rounded to 12.2 in class. All right. So my answer is 12.2, but do not forget you have to have a unit. This is the length of something of this side of the hypotenuse, and so you need to answer it with feet. All right, last up. Now that we have the hypotenuse, I can add all my sides and get my perimeter. 12.2 for my hypotenuse, and then 10 and 7. So clear your calculator. 12.2 plus 10 plus 7, and that is 29.2. So your perimeter is 29.2. Again, units, the perimeter has the same unit as the sides. Area is the only one that is different. Make sure you have that on your note card if you don't remember that. It is very important. Okay. Again, any questions you have, write them down. Anything you need for your note card, write it down. This is the time to do that. Okay, let's go to the next one. If you didn't get a chance to pause and do that last one, here's your chance for this one. You're solving for your hypotenuse. We're looking for the perimeter, which you can't find until you get your hypotenuse. And we do have the sides that you can use to find your area. Please pause the video, attempt this one yourself, since I'm right here to support you with this before you do your homework. Give yourself a chance to do this before you do the homework yourself. All right. And then come back to see how you did. Area is base times height divided by 2. 8 times 6 divided by 2. 8 times 6 is 48. Divided by 2 is 24. Again, units, very important. It's not just meters, it's meters squared. There's your area. All right, we can't find the perimeter until we find that hypotenuse. So a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Again, doesn't matter which one's a or b. Okay, 8 squared is 8 times 8, or 8 caret 2 equals 64. 6 squared is 6 times 6, or 6 caret 2 equal. Now you add the two numbers, 64 plus 36. Well, I've already got 36 in there, so plus 64 is 100. Okay, to get rid of the square, we have to do the opposite of a square, which is a square root. What I do to one side, because of the equal sign, I must do to the other. So because these two cancel out, the square root and the square, I'm left with C equals, and the square root of 400 is second. Oh, let's clear that. Second. And then I have to use my square root sign, which is my x square, right there, because they are the opposites. And then 100 equals, and that's 10. That just means that 10 times 10 equals 100. That's what that means. Again, units important. Make sure you put your unit. It is just the same unit as the rest of the sides. The hypotenuse is just another side. It's just the longest side. Now that I have my hypotenuse, I can find my perimeter. 10 plus 8 plus 6. And add those all up. And so my perimeter is 24, same units as the sides. All right. So that's all the ones I'm going to do for finding the hypotenuse with the area and the perimeter. The next ones we're going to do is we're going to find a missing leg, and we're going to be given the hypotenuse and a leg. So looking at my attempt at drawing a triangle, I'm given that the hypotenuse is 5 centimeters and a leg is 4 centimeters. So 5 centimeters for the hypotenuse. And it doesn't matter which leg. I'm just going to name this leg 4 centimeters. And we have a missing leg. We could call it A or we could call it B. I'm just going to call it A. Okay. All right. I can't find the area because I have to have both my legs to find my area. I can't find my perimeter because I need all my legs to find my perimeter. So the first thing I have to do here is find that missing leg. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. All right, I know my hypotenuse has to be C. So 5 is the only one that matters that has to be in that C position because it is directly across from the right angle. It has to be the hypotenuse and it has to be C. It cannot be A or B. The other two do not matter. I've decided that I don't know what A is and that I've decided that B is 4. You could have decided the other direction. You could put 4 in A and solve for B. It's going to give you the same answer. So now I need to square my 4 and my 5. 4 squared is just 4 times 4, or 4 caret 2 equals, and that is 16. 5 squared is 5 times 5, or 5 caret 2 equals. Okay. Solving for A. Well, I've got a 16 added to my A over here that I don't want attached. So I need to move it to the other side because it's added. The opposite of addition is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 16 from both sides. Bring your A squared down. And then 25 minus 16 is 9. All right, just like we did when we were solving for our hypotenuse. The opposite of a square is a square root, and we want just A, not A squared. So I need to take the square root of A squared just to get A. And what I do to one side, I have to do the other because of this equal sign. So again, the square root of 9, so second, the square root symbol, 9 equals. and that is 3. I also knew that because 3 times 3 is 9. Don't forget your unit. You have to use the correct units. You should know that coming off our unit section. All right, so 3 centimeters is my missing leg. I can now find the perimeter. 3 plus 4 plus 5. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 12. So my perimeter is 12 centimeters. It has the same unit as the side. And I can now find my area. Base times height divided by 2. Base of 4, height of 3 divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And don't forget your unit. It's not centimeters, it's centimeters squared. It has to be squared for area. Okay. So we've got 2 more of these. I want you to attempt this first one yourself. All right. We've got 2 sides here. Well, we've got the hypotenuse and we've got a side. And it's asking you to find the other side. And please note that it's measured in feet. You're going to have to read the directions on these just to make sure that you're covered on some stuff. Okay. Pardon me. It is measured in feet. So you can't do anything. You can't find the perimeter. You can't find the area until you find that missing side. So pause the video, attempt this one yourself, and come back to see how you did. So I'm going to start with a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. This is my hypotenuse, so this is my c. That's the only thing I care about. I know it's my c, or hypotenuse, because it's directly across from the right angle. Okay, so I have to make sure that 29 gets put in the c position. Anything else doesn't matter. So I can let 21 equal a, and I could call this one b. Okay, before you do anything, you need to square your 21 and your 29. So squaring your 21 is 21 times 21, or 21 caret 2 equals. So 441. Don't freak out by the big numbers. And then 29 squared is 29 times 29, or 29 caret 2 equals. Okay. Now, 441 is attached to b squared. Notice that it is positive. There's no negative sign here. So in order to move it to the other side, I have to subtract it from both sides. It's gone from here. And b squared is equal to 841 minus 441 is 400. Now, just like we did with the hypotenuse and the last one, in order to get rid of a square, we have to take the square root of both sides. Square root of b squared is b. Square root of 400, second, square root 400 equals, and that is 20. This is your hypotenuse, so it has to have the same length as all the other sides. This is not your hypotenuse. This is another leg. Again, it doesn't matter. All the legs have to have the same unit. Okay, I can now find my perimeter. So I have my 20. Oh, you just go down here. 20 for my missing side. So 20 plus 29 plus 21. Add these all up. 20 plus 29 plus 21 is 70. Same unit for perimeter as it is for all of our other sides. Okay, and now we can find our area. Base times height divided by 2. So 20 times 21, remember never to use your hypotenuse when you're finding your area. All right, so 20 times 21 is 420 divided by 2 is 210. Let's talk units. It's not just feet. Area is always measured in squares. So please do not forget to put a square for your feet. Again, notes, note for your 3x5 note card, questions for me. Make sure you write them on here so we can do that. You can even send me an email or a text. I'll take whatever you got. All right, last one. We've got a hypotenuse. That's the hypotenuse directly across from the right angle. We've got a leg and we have a missing leg. So we need to find the other leg, the perimeter, and the area, and this is measured in meters. I want you to pause the video. You're going to have to find your missing leg first. Then you can find your perimeter and area. Okay, pause the video and come back to see how you did. All right, well, 61 has to be my C. Anything else doesn't matter. I'm going to use 11 for A. And I'm going to be looking for my B. Okay. 11 squared is 11 times 11, or 11 caret 2 equals 121. 61 squared is 61 caret 2 equals, or 61 times 61, 3721, 3,721. Now, we have 121 attached to B squared. We want to solve for B. So we need to, since it's positive, we need to subtract 121 from both sides. This is gone, and I'm left with B squared is equal to, I've got 3,721 in my calculator, minus 121, and that is 3,600. All right, now I can solve for my B. The B is squared. The opposite of a square is a square root. So I have to take the square root of both sides. Square root of B squared is B. And the square root, second square root of 3,600 equals, and that is 60. This is a side, so it has the same units, meters. So this one is 60. I can find my perimeter. It's 60 plus 61 plus 11. So my perimeter is 132 meters. Don't forget your units. Very important. Put that on your note card. Don't forget your units. And lastly, let's find our area. It's base times height divided by 2. So 11 times 60, remember you never use your hypotenuse when you're finding your area. So 60 times 11 divided by 2. 60 times 11 is 660. Then divide that by 2. The area is 330 meters. It is area, so it has to be squared. Please do not forget that. All right, make sure you've written any questions that you have for me on this, that you're still questioning. Shoot me an email or a text, whatever I can do to help. And then also support yourself by going ahead and giving yourself some notes of what you would want to put on your 3x5 note card. Okay, I will see you in the next video.